be able to do this one off the cuff.
Well, yes.
All right, guys. So this yesterday we actually went and saw American Made
Yes,
together. It's the first time we actually got to see a movie together in a long time, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and talk about it.
All right, yes. Well,
So
you go first.
This is the
time.
non-spoiler review.
Non-spoiler, yes.
So I did not write a summary for American Made. So
I mean,
I don't know how to summarize it.
Let me summarize it for you right
now. I can
now.
talk about the review, but to summarize, there's so much of the technical stuff that I should have written down.
Now I'm gonna summarize it right now. Tom Cruise plays Barry Seal, a TWA pilot.
Yes.
He gets caught smuggling cigars into the country while he's working for TWA. CIA says, "Hey, you should be doing something a little more. You should be doing something for our country." And they give him a plane, and they use him as a spy of sorts to spy on what's going on down in South America and Mexico and all that. So as he's doing that, he gets roped in with other things and all this and all like that. Yeah. So this is just a story of how he went from TWA pilot to to what we know him now as Barry Seal, the CIA informant.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It got into a good flow.
Yeah. Okay, so now I can talk about my review of that.
Yes, you can.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. This was probably my favorite Tom Cruise movie to come out in recent memory. And I enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow.
I did as well.
I enjoyed the last few
Mission Impossible
movies. There was other ones that I did not care for, so I won't even try to remember the name of them. So
The Mummy.
The Mummy. What was the other one? Now I am trying to remember it. Sorry, it came out right around Edge of Tomorrow. It was a big movie. I don't know. It's the guy that's directing the new Top Gun movie. I don't remember it.
I don't remember it either.
Terrible movie. But this was a great movie.
Yes, it was.
This felt it actually. I had some feelings of nostalgia, even though I'd never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Or heard about the story.
Heard the story. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some nostalgia points that you'll feel for feeling it. It felt like a real old Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah. It even though it was made today, it did feel like it came out like late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
Like they had just, like the story on this had just broken. They decided to make a movie on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that is full credit to, come on, Zach's writing this again. No, he's not. Okay. Full credit to the director.
Doug Liman.
Doug Liman. Thank you for remembering that. I did not write that in my notes.
No problem.
I failed to write the notes. I wrote all the. I'm sorry. Forget the notes.
Yeah.
Either way.
We don't need no notes.
I do. But Doug Liman did an amazing job.
Yes.
The cinematography in this movie was amazing. It's real.
It almost looked like it had a film grain to it, like they filmed it on film.
Yes, and the color grading, which was interesting. The color grading seems to change with every time, like because there's a lot of years.
This is almost like a decade's worth of story. It's being told in this movie.
It seems like there was a completely different type of camera, different color grade, all that used to tell this story through time.
Almost like the way they filmed the movie. They tricked us into believing that this was being filmed in real time.
Right.
So as the story was being told, the technology of the cameras got better. Right.
Because I mean, starting out, it's almost like a documentary style. It's all handheld. The editing is real quick and jumpy somewhat. I don't want to say jumpy in a bad way. It's very.
It feels almost like he edited the movie himself.
Yes.
Like Barry Seal sat there and edited his own movie, but that's testament to the way the story was being told.
Right. So, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that. The technical side, the sound design was amazing. Some of the effects. There was a few visual effects that you can tell was computer generated, but it wasn't in a way.
It wasn't jarring
that was
or
distracting.
Anything. Yeah.
Yes.
You could just tell that they didn't film that. That was CGI. But it wasn't not like It wasn't like okay, that was obviously CGI. It was like that's clever how they masked the CGI, but they didn't really mask it, but you could tell they tried.
And the cast is the supporting characters in this movie. Domhnall Gleeson, amazing. He was my favorite. Probably my other. It's a tie. Him and Tom Cruise are tied as far as my favorite character.
Because he played Schaefer.
Yes, my favorite actors in this movie.
It was actually really good. Everybody played their roles very well. It felt very genuine and organic. The character interactions with each other, it was very good.
Now, do you have any review, or is that all you wanted to add for this movie?
I want to say that came in expecting a different kind of movie than I got.
Right.
I knew this was going to be like a drug drama and all this, but I wasn't expecting to laugh as much as I did.
Right. I mean, it was a political movie. It's not a thriller.
No, it's not
a war movie.
Not a thriller or a war movie.
And
no,
it's
no.
Not, I mean, it's somewhat action, but there was comedy and there's cool stuff to look at. But I wouldn't call it an action. I wouldn't call it a war movie, and I wouldn't call it a thriller. But you are.
You are feeling and being pulled into the story.
Yeah, there
way.
are moments of tension. You're on the edge of your seats at times.
But then even in the tense moments, there's still comedy.
Yes. So the comedy was an interesting way of
telling this story. Yeah, it was a very interesting way to tell this story. And then as for a story about all that he went through, it wasn't a violent movie at all.
Right. Yeah.
It was almost there was next to no blood at all in this movie.
Yes. So you get dirty though. There's some parts where you get dirty, but that's nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's the wife in the movie. I don't recall the actress's name.
So I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on that too.
Yeah, but she was very good.
Yeah.
I
believe that she would actually buy what Barry Seal was selling. She didn't.
Right.
She didn't come across. They didn't play her as stupid, but they played her as like she would genuinely trust Barry Seal.
Because I know there was a lot of talk about how they cast somebody so much younger than him for this movie to play his wife, but she sold it.
Yeah.
She was very, very good, very believable, and she put him in his place at times, which is
it was pretty funny. And there was also some other times that he did things that was put her in her place, and that was funny too.
Yeah, that was there. Yeah, I know which scene you're talking about, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was a very hilarious scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to hint at what it is. It's got to do with some stacks money.
It just bands of money, bands of money. Just bands of money.
Yes.
But it was very funny the way they played it off. They didn't. And another thing about it, Barry Seal was doing all these things he was doing, but they never played him off as evil.
Right.
They just played him off as a guy trying to do what he can to just keep his head up, pretty much to stay alive.
Right. And I mean, like the tension, it grows more and more as the movie progresses.
As you see him getting away with more and more, you just seeing it's like, well, you just wait, okay. But
when is the shoe gonna drop?
Yeah, when is the shoe finally gonna drop? Because it's like, okay, you're doing all this stuff, eventually the shoe's gonna drop somewhere.
Yes.
And then when they drop, they drop.
Yes. So yeah, this this is probably one of my favorite ones that I've seen this year, and we both agreed on a score.
Right there in the seat.
Yes, right there after the movie theater, we figured out what our score was going to be, and it is a 9.5. We agreed on a 9.5. So it was never slow. It was never boring. It always had something interesting to look at, or the dialogue was always snappy. It was just a good movie. Right. And when we were watching the previews for this movie, there's a lot of movies that are coming out in the month of October and November. I mean, there's a lot of Oscar. That's obviously Oscar season, but the fact that we've already got a 9.5 for a movie, and the interesting thing is, we don't feel like this movie's going to win any Oscars.
No, we
feel
don't.
like it deserves to win any Oscars.
No, we don't.
We just maybe cinematography, but that's about it.
That's about it. But it it's just a good movie.
Right.
And we don't just think it deserves the Oscar or anything, but it was just it was a very entertaining movie.
Yeah. So
we didn't feel bored. We didn't feel like when is it going to pick up. It always just kept moving forward, and then when it was done, it was done.
Which is interesting to think about the way the Oscars have our mind now.
Mm-hmm.
We can see a movie that we had no problems with, because we didn't even talk about anything about negative about the movie. I have nothing that I can think of to negative to say about it.
And I can't think of anything neither. But it's just but that's the sad part maybe because we feel like it doesn't hit enough notes that an Oscar movie would hit.
That's probably it. Because I mean,
our brain is trained to think that they didn't do this. They didn't have a moment like this in the movie, or this have like certain moments that an Oscar movie would have.
Right.
So
because I mean, that doesn't happen very frequently.
Mm-hmm.
That you get a movie that it's either an Oscar movie and it's a good movie, or it's a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a movie that somehow is not an Oscar movie,
but still good,
but still really good.
Sometimes it just happens that way.
Yeah, I mean, like the movie that I talked about not even last week. It was Mother. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I see that movie might get some Oscars.
A movie with that level of thinking involved with it, that's going to get some Oscar attention somewhere. Maybe, if at the very least, best original screenplay.
Yes.
At the very least.
So, yeah, we gave you the score. We gave you our review.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely suggest seeing this movie in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well it's going to play on home release.
I don't think so. Because the sound design is the way they designed all the airplane scenes. It's designed for a theater.
Right. So I definitely suggest seeing that in a theater as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Go see that this weekend because